Trails in the Sky, first chapter. Oh my god. Or should I say, oh my ideos, or great ideos, as they say in the game. What a start to a very long series of games that I'm eventually gonna play. I'm currently playing second chapter right now, and I can already tell there's massive improvements to the game, but we'll get to that in another video. So let's talk about the first game. First of all, how I was introduced to this. It's only been a year since I've known about the series. I've only seen character portraits. Yeah, that's about it. Just only one or two characters that I was really intrigued by, but never really took the time to get to know. But I made really great friends that have told me all about this over the past year. Yeah, it's been a whole year now. And getting into the game recently, last Christmas, yeah, 3 weeks ago. It really stuck with me. I'm hooked. I'm hooked on the series now. I was very curious about it. I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't know I was gonna I didn't know I was gonna love it. But I think it's too early to say I'm gonna love it. It's just that I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna love the rest of the series. It's definitely something that I would appreciate a lot. As a kid, or at the time of this game came out, I was 8 years old, I think. Yeah, and I was not into reading a lot, if that makes sense. And there's a lot of reading in this game, but it's not overwhelming or anything. If you're well, it's not really a game for kids, so I wouldn't have been able to play it anyway. But but I'm really glad I did. I finally had the chance to play it, and it's really. Yeah, it's got a really great story, it's got really great characters, oh my god. The music is great, the combat's great. We'll get to each and every one of those, hopefully. I'll try to explain the story to the best of my ability. I don't remember quite 100% of everything, because I'm not gonna lie, there were certain points in the game that were pretty boring, then I'll just skip through. But for the most part, it was a fantastic game. So let's just keep positive energy flowing. Right. Where to begin? Jesus. Oh, right. There will be spoilers in this, obviously. This is not for people that have never played the game before, so. And you do, trust me, you do not want to be spoiled on anything for the series. But yeah. So prologue. We first start with Estelle. I knew Estelle before playing the game, because of my friends kept telling me she's the best protagonist in the series, and I can clearly see why. She's the life of the party. She's oh my god, she's hot-headed. She's sweet at times. She's got the best facial animations in the game, or portraits, should I say? Just her expressions are just so just so full of charm. I love each and every one of them. She always has a snappy comeback whenever someone says something stupid. And it's just, she's a lot of fun. I love Estelle. And then we're introduced to Joshua, her adopted brother, who's taken in by her father Cassius. And yeah, it's they're one big family now, and these are our two main protagonists here. Then Cassius gets a message and has to leave them, but they're so against that. They want to try to find him, see what the hell's going on in the world. So let's see. Oh my god. They head out to Relent, I think is the name of the city. There's no voice acting in the game, which is understandable. It's a 2004 PSP game, I think, yeah. So there's not going to be voice acting. You gotta figure out what the pronunciation of the names are, which I had to do. But I could have asked my friends the pronunciation, but you know, just wanted to experience it for myself. So like 5 years later, yeah, and then prologue begins. Estelle and Joshua are bracers. Bracers are sort of the quote-unquote police of the world, or of this guild that they're a part of, the Bracer Guild, and they like get a contract to like kill some enemies or save some people, that kind of stuff, you know. Like the first quest in, you know, it's nothing special. Just go inside the sewer and like take care of some business. Let me tell you something. Like literally the first day, I went in that sewer, like for the second time. I like was mashing the left mouse button while the screen was like black, and I got stuck at like the other side of the map, right next to the water, and I just couldn't move. Thank God I had another save. I didn't save over my actual file. I saved on the second file, but that's old news. It was just a minor glitch. That was like the only one I've experienced in the entire game. It's funny, but yeah. Let's see. So yeah, prologue isn't anything that special. It's just you know, getting to know the characters and just exploring the town a bit. The world building is pretty good, and the game does a really good job of introducing you to these characters. Like you got Sherazard, who's like C rank bracer, also known as Silver Streak, I believe. Yeah, she teaches you about how to use orbs or orbments. At first, I kind of skimmed through her explanation because I wanted to like fight something already. Or like an hour, or, like, yeah, it took me 2 hours to get to my first enemy, but you know, my previous, my childhood self that didn't like to read was like sneaking up on me in the present. So I was like, okay, come on, we're older, let's take this seriously. Jeez, let's read through it. But I had to figure it out like as I was playing. And from what I understand, like when you kill an enemy, you get these things called cords. And like depending on the amount you have is like how powerful your orbment can get. Like say you have 20 water orb quartz. That's enough to get you like a level 1 orbment for like healing and such. There's attack, evade, healing, mind, action, movement, agility. There's a whole bunch to learn about it. It's a bit overwhelming at first, but when you get the hang of it, it turns out to be like really easy. Like, how did you not pick this up at the very beginning? It's not that hard to understand, honestly. And yeah, like for the longest while, I think until like chapter 2, I've only had like one orbit, maybe 2? No, one orbit slot on Joshua for like prologue chapter 1 and 2. He only had like 50 EP, which is like magic in the game. And I'm like, how did I make it this far with only 50 EP on Joshua? I don't know. And it's like I've only the only art, which is what magic is called in this game, that I've used with Joshua is Soul Blur, because that's like that's the good one. So I just kept using that for like 3 whole chapters. I like that name, Soul Blur. It's nice. Let's see what happens in prologue. Right. So a few things happen, not particularly interesting things. Like I think this kid gets kidnapped. Not kidnapped, but gets lost in this little dungeon here. I thought it was going to be like a huge dungeon, but not huge, but like, you know, first dungeon, but it was only like 5 minutes or so without fighting enemies. You save him, but then you get like almost attacked, but then your dad comes to save you. And it's like, you have much to learn, young lady. some shit like that. Then you meet the mayor of Roland, and you meet this girl, Josette. And after that little meeting there, the mayor's like office gets robbed, and you quickly like find out that it's Josette, and you go to like this forest to find her, and it turns out she's part of this like group called the Sky Bandits, and they're like the minor villains for a while, for like the first 2 chapters, I think. Prologue and chapter 1, yeah. I think that's like the first time I died to that fight. And I thought I was in chapter 1. I thought like the beginning of Prologue looked like the end of Prologue to me. I don't know. But then she like after the fight she gets away with other Sky Bandits, and like you gotta, I think you're like searching for them the next chapter, yeah. As well as like finding your father, because like this is the point where he gets the message and has to leave. Not in the very beginning. You see him for a little bit in Prologue before he leaves. I think, yeah. Scheherazade, she joins your party to find the Sky Bandits too, in Prologue. What's chapter 1? You go to this like farm to take care of some monsters. Not much happens there, honestly. Then you go to this harbor, I think. Estelle like fishes for a while, and then later that night we see some shady shit going down with the Sky Bandits. And then we see like these masked guys coming on in like a boat to make some deals or something, talk some evil business, that kind of thing. And it's like, holy shit, this guy was pretty cool. Little did I know. Little did I know. Let's see. Then you go to this other city called, I'm gonna say Bose? I wanted to say Bose, but I think Bose sounds a bit more like normal sounding. I don't know. Before you go to Bose, you go to this like checkpoint. You talk to this General Morgan, who's like completely against you, like in all your funny business. I forgot why he was so mad at us. Honestly, he really hates our guts. Right before that, we meet Olivier, who's just such a joker. Wait. He's so fucking horny for all the characters, especially Joshua. Like, dude, like, what the fuck? It's so weird. But, yeah. Another great party member, Olivier. He's got like, he's so full of himself. He's a talented musician. And also great with a gun. He's got his S-Craft is pretty good, honestly. I really like building up my craft points and like saving it up when I get like 100 for like any monsters that stand in your way. There's like certain ones that block your path that I think you're forced to fight, but I fought them anyway because. Like I said, I think you're forced to fight them. But it's also convenient because it's like part of like side quests that you can do. Like you go to a Bracer Guild and you can like read up what needs to be done, what monsters need to be killed, or whoever needs help in like the current city you're in. I only did like a few side quests for each town, but it's definitely worth it to do so. You get a lot of money. You get a lot of stuff to help with like upgrades and shit. It's nice. It's nice and simple, honestly. Right, then you go to Bose and do some shopping. You find out a little bit about a little bit more about the Sky Bandits, where they're headed, or where their headquarters is, should I say. First, do a little like investigating. Yeah, this is like some police work you're doing. You're not interrogating, but like just going around town asking witnesses what has been going on. You meet like Colonel Richard, who's like, who from what I remember, he's like trained under Cassius. He like looks up to him, I think. Yeah, so he's like a big deal. Cassius too is also a big deal. He's like an S rank bracer. That's like fought in this like previous war, I think. Yeah, there was like a little battle in Rolent in Estelle's childhood that led to like her mother's death, and it's like explained in this cutscene with Joshua. Estelle and Joshua are like really amazing. Honestly, they have so many moments together. They're always like really cute whenever they interact off each other. These are really great protagonists. Honestly, I love them. I love all the characters. We'll get to the rest later. After a little bit more things, we find the Sky Bandits again. We like jump onto their airship, and it takes us straight to their headquarters. And I'm like, oh boy, there's gonna be a boss at the end of this. Oh boy, let's do this. This dungeon was pretty annoying to say the least. Honestly, like there weren't that many enemies. It was just, first of all, it was like a maze. The dungeon, a lot of dungeons are like mazes, especially the final one. Well, to me they are. But yeah, you're just going around town trying to find all these places. I said there weren't that many enemies, but there really were, actually. And it was like, remember, this was like at the point where I still had only 50 EP on Joshua, so he was pretty weak. He died a whole bunch in like the first 3 chapters of the game for me, until I finally realized how to like power him up and shit. I'm so sorry, Joshua. Yeah, there's a lot of treasure chests you can find too. Some of them have monsters in it, but only like the big ones, the big red ones, or blue, or just ones that aren't brown, you know? And one funny thing about the treasure chests is that they have like extra dialogue that you can click onto when you talk to them again. And it's like the funniest shit. Like, oh, a few examples are like, you know, they just like insult you sometimes, like calling you a thief or saying you have Alzheimer's. It's whoever wrote those lines for the treasure chests deserves a raise. Like, that shit is so funny. Let's see, at the end of the dungeon, you find, like, the leaders of the Sky Bandits, or the leader of the Sky Bandits, I think? Dawn? Yeah. That boss fight was really ridiculous. Let's see, you had to fight him, this guy Kyle, who's Josette's sister, and Josette. And, oh boy, that was a really annoying fight. Like, Josette's got a gun. She was easy to deal with, honestly. It's more Kyle and Dawn that I was, like, really annoyed with. Like, Kyle would always, like, have this bomb ready to throw at us. And, Dawn, his normal attack is AoE. It's like a cannon. So there's splash damage, and oh my god. But, you know, after the second try, we win. There's this thing called, retry offset that makes enemies like easier to deal with. I had that on like the entire game because I'm still like a newcomer to the series, so yeah, you know. After that fight, there was something happened to like Dawn. Like, it's as if he like recalled his memories or something. Not his memories, but just snapped back into reality. Like, he didn't understand what was going on. Who he just fought. It was like he was being mind controlled or something. And I was like, ooh, foreshadowing? What could this mean? And let me tell you, it pays off in the end. But we'll get to that later. After the fight, that happens, and you have to like chase them now. And it's like I didn't level up or have a chase to heal, and there were like enemy soldiers waiting for us. And there was like 3 waves, or 3 fights waiting for us. I'm like, do we have to fight another boss at the end of this? Or is it just these 3? And what a relief it was just those three. And the Sky Bandits get caught and get arrested. They're out of here. Bastards. And I think that's the end of Chapter 1. Yes. Moving on to Chapter 2. Now Estelle... Oh, Scheherazade and Olivier decide to go back to Relent. And, yeah, it's just Estelle and Joshua now that have to go to the city of Rouen. Rouen? That's what I call it, yeah. That's how I pronounce it. They go to, like, the seaside of the map. It's really nice. And they go to this orphanage. Well, before the orphanage, they go to this town where they meet my favorite character in the game, Chloe. Like... I don't know what it is, like... Every time I play a JRPG, I always seem to like the girl that's mostly like not using magic a lot, but is mostly the magic user, and like the little sweetheart, I guess. I don't know. I just have like a really fond connection with that kind of archetype, that JRPG archetype. I don't know. I hope you understand what I mean. But yeah, I really like Chloe and her bird, Sieg, I think that's how you say it. How she talks to him, and he's like scream every time. It's a nice bird, very nice bird. After you meet her, you realize she's from like an academy, and you go there later, not right now. But before that, like another Estelle and Joshua moment. And it's like if you played Xenoblade Chronicles like 1, like you would, if you're like a huge fan of the game, you would instantly like connect this. You would compare that scene to the scene with Estelle and Joshua. The scene where Shulk is eating a sandwich and Fiora is sitting right next to him. But this scene is a lot better because it's like Joshua's feeding Estelle, and it's so adorable. I love that cutscene. That's like one of their best moments together. Right, now you go to the orphanage. Oh, wait. Before you go to the orphanage, you get your like bracer emblem stolen by this kid. Now, if you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you would connect this to another scene from that, but that's enough with the Xenoblade comparisons. You go back to the orphanage, you take it back from the little... Then you see that Chloe's there. Blah, blah, blah. You go to Rouen. And it's at this point where I started really understanding how courts work. I've been asking my friends a lot to help me with this stuff, and they've been really like generous to do so. Of course they are. They really want me to enjoy this game, and I really did. Like, let's not forget that. I did struggle at many points trying to understand many things and getting stuck in some fights. But for the most part, it was a very enjoyable experience, all right? Let's just not forget that. You like stay at this hotel and you meet like the future king, I think? The future king of the country. Yeah, and he's such a meme. Just so funny with his like butler Philip. I can already like picture what he sounds like. He has no voice, but just like that. The prissy, esteemed type, rich next ruler of the country. Like, you know what I mean. He's really funny, even though he's a huge prick. But who cares? And then you do some more like investigating around town, like this. Damn. There's like this gang in a warehouse that you have to find. I forgot what we were investigating, but in the end, like find out this whole gang that and we fight them. That was a really annoying fight, by the way. They just keep on like invigorating the other members of the team and just powering them up, and of course healing them when I've already killed them. So I had to take care of like the big boys first before the little minions. Yeah, the fights in this game are really interesting. Some very annoying, but if all of them were easy, it wouldn't be that interesting in the game. After the fight, like, oh, I forgot to talk about Agate. You meet this guy Agate before you enter like mines or something. And he's like a senior bracer, I think. Yeah, he's kind of Agate's pretty cool. He's a bit of an asshole, but he's like, you like him as an asshole. You help him fight off some wolves. He gets injured for a bit, but like takes off the next morning. And then he comes back after you fight the guys in the warehouse to like. He's pretty strong and pretty cool. Like I said, this whole cast is pretty epic. Not many JRPGs I can say that have a fully likable cast like this. Just nothing but fantastic characters. After that, you go to Chloe's academy. You like go around the school talking to the students. There's like a whole like celebration going on. I forgot what it's about, but it's cute. It's nice, and Estelle and Chloe are part of and Josh are part of this play, like talking about the history of like the world. I think the world is called Zemuria. I think. Yes. I don't think it's like a war on the entire world. I think it's like that region alone. Liberal? Yeah, liberal. Like Chloe and Estelle were like commanders, and Joshua was the prince. For some reason, Joshua was the princess, and it was pretty funny. It was cute. It was charming. It was funny. And like you have the whole entire play section, which was just like really nice to watch. By the end, you see this guy with like silver hair, just looking onwards. You have no idea who he is, but I was like, have we seen this guy before? But, he's just watching us, and very scary. You just know we're gonna fight him in the future. After you're done with like the academy, I thought I was not gonna like the academy. I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I ended up loving it. Honestly, the whole thing. I thought it was gonna be like a really boring section, but no, I really like grew to love Chloe and like her side of her section of the story. And like when she had to leave the very next chapter, I was like, no, don't go, please stay with me. My friend said that some characters don't come back until like the very end, I think. Yeah. I did not want to lose Chloe because in battle she's like possibly my favorite. Not only does she have like great base strength, but like her S-Craft is like an AoE heal that can also revive you, which I definitely needed. So she was very, very useful. Again, I haven't played that many JRPGs, but I can safely say one of the best healers in any JRPG ever. I don't know. That's just might be an exaggeration, but just trust me. Let's see. Moving on to Chapter 3. Chapter 3. I've seen people say that Chapter 3 is like the weakest of the game. I kind of disagree. Honestly, like there aren't any weak chapters because they all like serve a purpose. Like Prologue. Prologue introduces you to like the basic stuff, the main characters, like how the mechanics work, how the combat works. it serves its purpose. Chapter 1 is a pretty good intro as well. It's a good way to like get you used to the mechanics and shit. So it really picks up when you get to like chapter 2, I think. Honestly, no. Never forget what I said there. It doesn't really pick up there. Because chapter 2 is pretty simple as well. But chapter 3, yeah, you go to these mines and then Chloe decides to leave the party. The mines weren't that hard, honestly. Or maybe it was like a cave. You meet this little girl, Tita, who's got like a fucking cannon / minigun, and she's pretty strong. However, she does have very little HP, so not that reliable. The definition of a glass cannon. But she like got the job done. I still love her character and like the gameplay too. Then you go to the next town, which is called Zeiss, I believe. It's like there's a lot of like machinery in Zeiss. You meet like the professor, who's Tita's grandfather, and this is where people say is like the weakest, because it's like basically a fetch quest. But it's honestly fine. I like the city, and I like looking for stuff. The factory was a nice place to explore. But then then the professor gets kidnapped, and we have to go save him because he's like the only one that can like really figure out what this black orb that Joshua and Estelle got back in chapter 2, I believe. Yes, from their father. Let's see, and you gotta go to this like tower. You fight those guys in the masks, and oh my god, they were pretty tough. Like the first time fighting those guys, they were pretty tough. Like they got this attack where they can like make you go from your next turn to like the last turn if you're really unlucky. And ooh-wee. Bit of the evil organization of the game, I believe. Or just first chapter. I think at this point is where we meet Professor Alba. Like, you know, seems like a pretty chill, normal dude. For now. Let's see. After the fight, you don't, oh wait, no, you meet Professor Alba way before that. This is just like a similar tower that you go to. But yeah, they end up getting away, but before that, they like, almost shoot at Tita, but Agate like protects her, and then he gets like mortally injured, like poisoned, I believe, because of like the bullet. Like Agate and Tita, oh my god, they're like brother and sister, like fucking. You just love to see them both together. It's like Estelle and Joshua moment, you know. But a lot more sincere, because Tita, she's just a little girl. I love every time she goes eep. She's so cute. You go to the next little mini village, and it has like a little hot spring or spa or whatever, sauna. And then like Tita and Estelle have their own little moment there, and she's like, "So is Joshua your boyfriend or what? What's going on?" And then Estelle gets like super embarrassed and shit because she never like once thought of that. It's a really funny scene. And then she like decides to go out into like the open bath, and then bumps into Joshua. They're both like practically naked in front of each other, and it's like, yeah, Estelle just like screams to the top of her lungs. It's like a really awkward moment, but it's funny. It's really moments like that are really nice. Before you like get to that village, you meet Zin, who's like super huge and is very familiar looking if you've played like Xenogears. But I haven't played Xenogears, but you know, for those who played Xenogears, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's like super strong. You get him for like a little bit, and like go inside this cave. There's like a fat penguin you fight. That's a really annoying fight. Take a drink every time there's an annoying fight in this game. It's like at one point it like healed 1400, whereas I only do like 200 per character. I don't know. It was like such a tanky mini boss. Oh man, I forgot what happens at the end of chapter 3. Damn, I might have to think here. There's this fortress you go to, but you have like no permission to enter. So we like devise. This is where like the professor is being held. So we have to like devise a plan for like infiltration, and it's like a little stealthy Metal Gear section of the game. We see the professor being like, who's like talking to Colonel Richard, who turns out to be a bad guy. And yeah, like that entire section, you gotta like watch out for guards and shit. You gotta escape somehow. I was expecting a boss fight at the end, but you know, it's fine. Not too hard, not too easy section. Moving on. Let's see, any characters I'm leaving out? No, I think I've introduced all the characters, yeah. Now for the final chapter, we're off to Grand Cell, which is like the biggest city so far in like, yeah, that I've experienced. You go there and you meet like 4 other bracers of that branch. But you meet them like in the arena, where you have to like fight your way up, so that you can. I might have skipped through some dialogue, but I don't know if like they had to fight to get an invitation to the castle or whatever, but it would like allow access to the castle, like a little dinner party. Yeah, there was a dinner at the castle where you would meet the queen. But first you have to like fight a few enemies in the arena. The 4 bracers, oh my god. They weren't fucking around, like, let's see. Karna is the one that like provides the buffs for the other bracers. The attacker, who is the attacker? It's either Grant or Annalise that's the attacker. And I believe that Kurt is the healer of the group, so you had to really strategize what the fuck you were gonna do. Who you need to take down first. Yeah. From here on out, like, boss fights took me a couple of tries to get through. Nothing else was like first try from here on out. But after you beat them, you see like Lawrence, as mentioned earlier, and his team fight against the Sky Bandits, and like they get annihilated. Not just the Sky Bandits, but like another group of people. It's like, yeah, the game does a really good job to like make you scared of Lawrence and his like quote unquote strength. But then you fight him, and let's see, you fight him and 4 others. Of course, they have the ability to revive and to stall you, as I mentioned earlier, like put you at the top to the bottom in your like turn order. That can get annoying. But Lawrence had this like, when it was just down to Lawrence, he had like a copy ability to like make 2 of himself. He made 3 of himself. I was like, oh boy, this shit. But then I looked at the stats and saw that they were extremely weak to magic, so I just, yeah, easy. Oh, this game's not that hard. And yeah, that was a pretty good fight. That was like the best fight so far. Take that, Lawrence, you piece of shit. You're only a lieutenant, or like a low-grade minion to begin in the end. Even like his superiors make fun of him for being so weak against such novice bracers such as Estelle and Joshua. Oh boy. Little did I know. We're getting to the meat right now. Let's see. We're getting close to the end game. Right, so after that, you go to the castle, you have a little dinner, and you meet the queen. And she tells you a little about, she tells you a little bit about the history of Liberl, which is like the country. Might have skipped some dialogues, but I swear I've been paying attention for like the most part. You get a little background check on Richard, his second in command, and Lawrence. I only cared about Lawrence. I wanted to know a bit more about Lawrence. But it said age unknown, like nationality unknown. Just like super mysterious character. Who the fuck is this guy? All we really know about him is like Lawrence Belgar, second lieutenant of the intelligence division. And it's like, it's a lot deeper than that, isn't it? It's a lot deeper than that. I need to know. As I said, I'm playing second chapter, and I can't wait to learn more about him. Let's see. Let's skip ahead to in the castle. Oh wait, no, it's like the point of no return, I think, that kind of thing. You play as the guys for a bit, go in the sewer to like break into the castle. And then you play as the ladies for a bit, and to go find the queen. And then you see Lawrence again, and he's like there by himself against the queen. I'm like, oh boy, he's gonna kill us, isn't he? He's quote unquote protecting the queen, smug bastard. Like, I love this kind of I love this archetype of villains, you know? Just like, they got like the little smile whenever they talk. I imagine him with like a very common villainous voice, and just an overall really cool design. Let's see. Yeah, and then he has like a little moment. He really said, like, let me show you my real power. Removes his mask, and then, oh my god, he's hot. He's also the guy that was like, at the end of the play, that was like watching us. I was like, oh, he's that guy. But, wow. He's really fucking cool. And then you fight him. Oh my god. Where do I begin? Bro has 6,000 HP, no weaknesses, and almost all of his attacks are AoE, and like this one attack just cancels your arts when you're charging them. You can win the fight. I thought it was unbeatable. You can actually win the fight if you're really good at the game. But I think it makes more sense to lose, because that just shows you how powerful this guy is. He was just holding back in the arena, as they said, yeah. And then he just disappears, and we'll see him in the next episode, I guess. I'm like, tell me more, I need to know this guy. Then the whole party like meets back up again. I was like, yo, guys! I'm like so happy to see them. I love this cast. This cast is so good. Like, play this game just for the characters and the stories. Even though the combat's still good. Let's see, after that you find like a little secret pathway underneath the castle. And it's like the final dungeon. It's got a really like ancient, rugged looking place. There's a lot of it's really good. Like, I'm surprised I didn't get lost here. I was at this point I was like used to the game. But before you go down there, you like have to go save the princess, Claudia, I believe her name is. Yeah, and yeah, you have like not the whole team. You have like Zin with you. to go help save the princess. The whole place is like covered with these masked guys. It's like every time you exit a door, you have to fight one. It's oh my god. But then you get to the end, and you see that the princess is none other than Chloe, and I'm like, oh my god, she is gorgeous. She was the princess this entire time. And I'm like, wow. I seem to also have a thing for like royalty types in JRPGs. I don't know. But yeah, like Chloe, man. Chloe, jeez. And then like that's where Scheherazade and Olivier come back into the game. And it's like, wow, I haven't seen these guys in so long. This is all before Lawrence too. I'm kind of mixing things up a bit. But, yeah. Right. Then the final dungeon, go down, and you see like Colonel Richard there. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of fights that happen, and then you fight Richard, and he's kind of like Virgil from Devil May Cry, but not really. I'd say like Lawrence is a bit like Virgil. Like Richard, he's still pretty cool. I may have forgotten what he was trying to do. Like, right, I think his plan was like to try to expand the nation because it's like it's so weak compared to like the other countries. That's what he wanted to do ever since he was like working with Cassius. And Lawrence, like, I love his like metaphor of like the country, like being an orbment itself, and the people within it are ports for that orbment. That was, I may have forgotten a bit about it, but it was still a pretty good metaphor. It's like this guy, he knows some shit, so we're gonna find out more about him later. I thought that Richard was gonna be the final boss, but I was like, no, that was way too simple. Where's the real JRPG, like massive big boy boss? Where is he? Then you see this giant machine come out of nowhere, and I thought, oh boy, here we go. First phase was pretty simple, but then second phase is like, to me, the hardest fight in the entire game. The final boss, Reverie. Let me tell you, this has to be the most disgusting, unfair final boss I have ever fought. I'm not even kidding. This was just so unbelievably annoying. Where to begin? The whole fight, let's see. First of all, he can summon minions. But what JRPG final boss doesn't summon minions? Sephiroth, I guess? Oh man. At first I killed them, but later on when he's like less than half HP left, he summons stronger minions. So that was a big no-no. So after I died, I just decided to leave them be, and just attack the final boss like head on. Even though I wasn't doing that much damage, I tried everything. I couldn't use arts because he would have this art canceling attack that's also AoE, which was a very bad idea. You have to learn that the hard way. There's no way you would find out about that unless you were told or something. It was, oh my god. And when you don't have like enough turns to like get out of the way of his like laser attack that shoots in a straight line, that can get really annoying. And not to mention his ultimate attack called Annihilation, which might as well be the game over attack. Even though like one character that I had can like fucking tank it, Agate. I chose Chloe and Agate to support Estelle and Joshua for the final fight. Like Chloe for healing and Agate for tanking. Let's see. Even though I'm ripping this final boss apart, like saying how terrible, I still had a lot of fun. It was still, my heart was racing because It had less than 1,000 HP left. It was about to use Annihilation again. And I only had 3 chances to, like, kill it. I had Agate, do some damage. Chloe, do some damage. Estelle, oh wait, Estelle's dead. Never mind. How do I guarantee? Oh, he has like 200 HP left. How do I guarantee this? Do I have enough craft points? Yes, I do. Do a dual fang. Do a double hit. Kill him. The end. We're done. Thank God. Thank Aidios. This was really early in the morning. I woke up at 2 a.m. for that shit, to fight the final boss. Well, to go through the entire final dungeon and the final boss. I didn't mean to wake up at 2 a.m. I was just like so ready to beat the game already. Oh my god. It was definitely a rush. And that's good. That's good that a final boss can do that, obviously, yeah. But then it got up for like a 3rd time. But then Cassius comes back and says, finish it off, let's go, I'm here now. Hi. Hi, Dad. But a huge sigh of relief when I'm like fully healed, it only has 5,000 HP, and it's just like the victory finale portion of fighting the final boss. And oh my god. I got like, this is before I like went off to work, by the way, fighting the final boss and beating the game. So I had like a bit of a headache from all of this, but it was all worth it because it was still like a really great like final fight. Even though I said it was really unfair, but yeah, you know. I bet if I play the game again, I would get better. Obviously get better at it, but that's not going to be for another while because I want to get second chapter out of the way. But I'm going to take my time with that game too. Yeah, I may not have like summarized the story that well because it's like my first time playing, and but that's not really an excuse because. Like I said before, it's like my childhood self that didn't like to read a lot, sneaking up on me, just messing with my head. But then we get to like the epilogue. And what happens next? I'll just skip ahead to like Joshua and Estelle sitting on a bench, like how far we've come. We've been through a lot. Oh man, this is such an epic journey. Yeah, I thought it was like gonna be a really nice, sweet little ending, you know? And like Professor Alba comes out of nowhere and starts chatting up with Josh. I skipped a few lines because I didn't expect what was gonna happen next. He kind of like snapped his fingers and like everything just hit Josh. And then turns out Alba is like the main antagonist of the entire series, I believe. Called Weissman. And I'm like, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming at all. He was the one, or maybe like, maybe not him, but like the organization he works for was like manipulating people. There's like 2 instances where people are like mind controlled or something, and I'm really glad I picked up on that. I was like, yeah, it was him this whole time. He was behind it all. Professor Alba, or Weissman. And like, what he tells Josh, come back to us, back to Ouroboros. That's like the evil society that apparently Josh was a part of. But he like didn't know. Or maybe he did know, or maybe he was like mind controlled and didn't know. He was assigned to kill Cassius at the very beginning of the game. But after they fought, it's as if it was at that point he like lost his memory. But instead of killing him, Alba like used Joshua to like spy on him, rather get all the information they can out of Cassius, because once again he's like a huge deal in all of Liberl, and that was just crazy to me. It really fucked up Josh. Like, he just completely changes as a character from here on out. Like, Joshua, this whole time, this innocent, sweet little kid with like the best of manners, turns out to be a mass murderer / assassin that was assigned to kill Cassius. He's been killing people when he was only 11 years old, born to be a murderer, used by Ouroboros. Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, Joshua went from one of my least interested characters that I was into to one of my most interested characters that I'm into right now. And in the first chapter of in the first part of second chapter, we're trying to find him. We're trying to find out where the hell where he's gone to. And it's like, wow. Estelle comes back with some ice cream, and Josh is like, oh hey, thanks. Just completely brushes it off. And then we go back to the castle, where this is like the final part of the game. And yeah, Josh basically tells Estelle like his story. And oh boy. At first she's like completely speechless and a little bit in denial. But then, oh my god. Like I said, Joshua just changes as a character. Like, at the end of their little conversation, he walks up to her, gives her a little kiss, and I'm like, oh, is this where the relationship begins? But no, like, he like slips in a little fucking sedative and fucking like knocks her out. Like, that's the complete opposite of anything Joshua would do. If you know his character throughout the entire game, you would never expect Joshua to do anything like this. And it's like so shocking. And then he just, as Estelle is like passing out, he's like, I've always loved you, Estelle. Since the moment I met you. That shit fucking hurt. It's like, and that's where the game ends. That's where the game ends. What a cliffhanger, bro. No, tell me more. You can't just stop there. What the fuck just happened? From Lawrence 2, from fighting Lawrence the second time to the end of the game, that was peak. That was peak FC. I wish the whole game were like this, but it's nice to have a little like surprise at the very end. You know? If like everything's pretty neutral to great, you get to fucking insane. I was not expecting any of that. I'm so glad I didn't get spoiled on it. Damn, I really wish I got into the series like earlier in my life, honestly. Not as they were coming out, but like at least a few years ago when I was like getting into more JRPGs. Mostly like the Xeno series. But it's nice to like branch out now. And Trails is definitely a series I can see myself really loving in the end. Because I love the first game, and I'm already loving second chapter. There's like a whole bunch of improvements that I'm seeing. And it's also running a lot smoother. And oh man, I can't wait to learn more. This is just the beginning. It does a really great job setting up like what you need to know. Just who really is Josh? Who is Lawrence? What the fuck is Ouroboros? We gonna find out. Oh man. What a game. Honestly, what a game. What a great start. Again, I really wish I came to this game earlier, but just seeing like tidbits of it for a whole year to come to this part, I see why my friends love this so much. But this is just like the first game. Let's not forget that. Yeah. And overall, great story, great characters, great combat. I'm gonna love it. So, yeah, that's basically about it. This game is pretty good. A solid 8.5 out of 10. Like, and I just know that second chapter is going to be a bit higher because I can already see great things, and I've been very much hyped up for it ever since I started first chapter. I want to thank my great friend for gifting me the game for Christmas, and I want to thank several other friends that have introduced me to the series. I'm running out of shit to say. But yeah, if you managed to stick around for this long, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't played the Trail series, then I just spoiled you on the first game. But if you have, play it again, and then play it another time, and then play the entire series like I'm doing. Because I know it's just going to get better and better. I don't know. I have seen that there was a bit of a decline in certain ways, but it's still a great series, I'm sure. So I guess that's about it. Thanks again for watching.